Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Live from Channel 5 studio in Belize City, it's Open Your Eyes, Start Your Morning Right with your hosts, Sabrina Daly and Paul Lopez.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
How you feeling? Rested?
I'm feeling, sort of rested.
Sort of.
Yesterday was a holiday. I love the fact that in the middle of the week we got an opportunity to unwind, just to wind up back again and jump into the work today.
Yeah, you know, when we spoke about George Price Day, George Price's birthday, the father of the nation, also known as Service Day, depending on who you speak to, the conversation about the middle of the week holiday, of course, is one that you would not gloss over so quickly. A lot of people tend to prefer their holidays falling on a Monday, not even a Friday, you'd be surprised to know. But yesterday was a celebration of the father of the nation, his birthday, the Honorable Right George Cadle Price, and I think it was a good one. For me, I stayed inside. I know that a lot of us just wanted to take advantage of that day to rest. For others, it's an opportunity to show an act of service. I know there was definitely an official ceremony that took place here in the city. And so overall, I think it was a successful day. Yeah,
and this is one of the topics we'll talk about in our What's Buzzing conversation, which perhaps we should jump right into. Let's get into our What's Buzzing conversation for this morning. And so the Right Honorable George Cadle Price, the father of the nation, Belize's only premier, would have turned 106 years old yesterday. I hear people saying that it's a service day as well, but perhaps I'm mistaking, we may be mistaking the birthday with the anniversary of his death, which is later on down in the year, correct? And I think that one is actually
Service Day,
termed Service Day, National Service Day, right?
Well,
so let's get it.
You might got me there, yes.
Let's get it there. We didn't have to serve yesterday. Those services
we could have rested.
We could have rested.
The service is coming up soon, though.
Yes, later on later on in the year. But an interesting ceremony was held yesterday at the home. Former home of the Right Honorable George Cadle Price. I believe it's on Pickstock Street. Several things happened there. There was some symbolic tree planting ceremony. Well, of course, an official ceremony. That's the home right there. That's where he lived in Belize City. They had the launch of a book, The Good Belizean. Actually, we discussed that book on Tuesday. We had a discussion about that book. Several letters. That book curates 20 letters brought together, curated by the folks over there at the Institute for Research. They brought together, niche, sorry, let's put it as niche. They brought together 20 letters and put it in a book called The Good Belizean. See, letters from the Premier, and that was launched yesterday. And several other symbolic items, if you would, were inaugurated yesterday in honor of the life of the Right Honorable George Cadle Price. And so the turnout was significant. So this is the Botanical Garden where the the trees were planted. I believe it's 3 different trees, each symbolic in their own way. We've been hearing about this botanical garden for some time now. In fact, it was Service Day last year, late last year, that we sought to get a look at the state of the botanical garden, but at the times the rains were heavy, the garden had been flooded to some extent, and so it has been rehabilitated, and now they're bringing it to life and making it available to the public to a great extent. And so I believe it was, I'm no history buff here, and you'll have to forgive me as a good Belizean for not knowing fully the history of the Prices and their family, but I believe, and I'm sure those in the comments will correct me if I'm wrong, that the sister of the Right Honorable George Kriol Price had a green thumb. And in fact, she loved gardening to a great extent, and so this botanical garden is also in honor of her.
You know, yesterday must have been a really special day. I see that there were even some children in attendance, and the vehicle there.
Right. So this is the vehicle that he last owned. It's a Land Rover. I believe that's the brand that he would drive across the country. You know, a lot of people when they have these accounts of the Right Honorable George Kriol Price, it's always about him in his Land Rover, either him driving or with a driver, and how he would pick up people and take them from point A to point B, carry out his business across the country. So this is actually the last vehicle he owned, so the last model he owned, and it is owned by a family here in Belize now, but it's such a historical piece and such a valuable piece for Belize's history and culture, and it's still intact and it's still running, as you can see.
Yeah, so one of the last points that I wanted to mention, Paul, was just seeing the young people in attendance at the ceremony yesterday, which was so important in continuing the message of what the Right Honorable George Kriol Price represented as it relates to our history here in Belize, but the overall representation of what it means to be a Belizean, the things that he fought for. And so seeing these young female and males there, I think is a huge representation of moving on with that legacy as it relates to being a good Belizean.
Indeed.
All right, well, moving on into our second topic of discussion. Now, this one's a bit interesting, more on the coastal side. Now, there was a report coming out from Kikocker that a barrier of sorts was being removed. Now, it might just sound like a regular story, but what's interesting, Paul, is that whenever there are these private properties that are set up, there seems to be some type of conflict between residents, local residents, and even visitors with these private property owners where access to beach is concerned. Now, what took place yesterday? Because you can see on this video that a blockage is almost being kind of like removed.
Yeah, so yes, what we learned based on a press release from the Kikocker Village Council, from their perspective, this barrier, if you would, this wooden barrier is illegal. It was illegally erected, and it prevents access to a beachfront, and it prevents vehicles from driving along what should be a
public
golf
access,
cart or public access, a golf cart, a path, public access, pedestrian access on the beach. And it's a controversial situation in that you have often these private property owners, they seem to feel that it is illegal to lay claim to beachfronts and to hold it as their own and to prevent access from it. And what the village council is saying is that they did a survey in between 2023 and 2024, and they found that several properties had been in contravention of that law. So several properties were either preventing access, just like this, access from beach, preventing people from riding across the beach, and preventing vehicles from driving through. And basically, this is government land. When you talk about a building in front of a beach, you have to consider that you have to have a buffer zone, not only for environmental purposes, but because at the end of the day, nobody owns the beach, right? And so what we saw yesterday was a confrontation between the village council members and police officers and this resident, well-known resident of the islands as well. And that resident seemed to have had issues with the council and the officers and authorities coming to remove the wooden barrier. This is one that apparently had been up for some months, if not a year or so, and it's an issue that, well, as a council, you have to listen to your people. And if your people is saying, hey, this is preventing us, this is really making it hard for us to move across the island and really preventing us from using the beach or accessing the beach, which is public property, then as a council, I would imagine you have to step in and do what you have to do. And based on the council, they had conversations with the CEO at the Ministry of Natural Resources. They also had conversations with the minister at the Ministry of Natural Resources. And all those conversations led them to believe that they were well within their right to remove these barriers. It brings up a larger conversation, however, because residents in these islands in their comments are also saying that, well, this is a small little business establishment.
There are many others.
But they are big, they're huge, these huge resorts and these huge hotels that oftentimes in subtle ways try or attempt to prevent people from accessing the beaches in an attempt to safeguard the beauty of their property, or to present or market this all-exclusive, exclusive sort of experience to their guests. And some of these businesses even argue that it's for the safety of their guests as well. But there has to be a balance, and there, because at the end of the day, it's government lands, and you can't prevent people from walking along the beach. And I take Placencia as an example, a beautiful example to me. I don't know if there's areas along the beach in Placencia which stretches for a distance from way before you, right after St. Bites. You could actually, some people would say you could walk from St. Bites to Placencia along the beach. Because the access, and you have some huge hotels and some big properties there, but still they don't prevent people from accessing the beach and walking along it. And so this is one of those stories that we will continue to follow, and even follow today, perhaps get a comment from the village council to find out really what's happening. But they have already signaled that this is not the only property in violation of this law, and so perhaps it will be a sweep in terms of removing these barriers.
Oh, that's an interesting one to follow. Our final topic of discussion this morning comes more on the international scene. I have to say that it was certainly welcome news, but still a bit on the controversial side, according to an update that we saw yesterday. It was announced that an official agreement between Israel and Hamas has been brokered to essentially have a ceasefire in the war that's taking place. Now, this comes over a year after these two areas just being in complete conflict with each other, thousands of people being displaced, thousands of people dying. And interestingly, Paul, we announced just on Tuesday that there was a delegation in country invited by Nancy Marin, and that is the Palestinian Liberation Organization. And so we spoke with the head commissioner who arrived in Belize, hoping to meet with government officials. There you see him taking a photo with the Prime Minister, which obviously shows that there was some form of discussions taking place.
Yeah, this ceasefire is a huge deal, a sigh of relief for many across the world, because we've all had our eyes locked into looking at the massacre taking place along the Gaza Strip, as well as the responses from Palestinians where this aggression is concerned. We also know that Belize severed its diplomatic ties with Israel in an attempt to broker or have such a pressure them to broker such a deal. We're talking about 15 months of ongoing terror, 15 months of attacks, 15 months of deadly exchanges between both countries, and just a general cry across the world for peace. At the end of the day, these are human beings. Sabrina, you would know that we had a discussion, we dedicated almost an entire show with Assad Schumann to speak on this very issue, and we learned a lot. We learned a lot about the geographical makeup of this region, about some of what is leading to this conflict, and so it's encouraging to see that this ceasefire deal has been brokered. My understanding is that it will come into effect on Sunday. Nonetheless, there have been reports that we're following to say that even hours after the
up to 5 hours
agreement was made, both countries or both parties agreed to this ceasefire.
There was a strike by Israel, killing up to at least 70 persons in the Gaza Strip area. It's absolutely devastating. I'm hoping that this is something that we get further updates on, because as we just mentioned, this came after the agreement that was announced yesterday, Paul.
Yeah, but this could mean potentially a ceasefire could mean restoring those diplomatic ties where Belize and Israel is concerned. It could mean for Palestinians rebuilding. I know that, like you said, the Palestinian Liberation Organization is here in Belize, conducting meetings and really working to lobby their point and bring their parts across. And just by way of another regional update, my understanding is that Cuba has been removed off the list. There's this list where America, the United States of America, designates certain countries as countries that aids in terrorism or acts of terror, etc. And for some time, Belize has been lobbying with the UN for them to be removed. Well, reports surfaced over yesterday and the day before, over the last 24 hours really, that Cuba has been removed off that list. And so, again, another big development. You know, Cuba is a huge partner for us, and it could mean a re-emergence of huge trade deals between U.S. and Cuba, Cuba and the region. It could mean an amplified voice for Cubans as well on these international platforms. And so I loved when I heard that fact.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for What's Buzzing this morning. If you have any thoughts on either of the topics mentioned, let us know in the comments section. And if you believe that there is something that is currently trending either on the news or online that we should also be talking about, also let us know in the comments section. Moving now into the weather to get an official update from the folks at the Met Service.
Good morning. Generally fair weather prevails and will support sunny skies with cloudy spells today and partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be isolated, but slightly more will develop over central areas this morning and over inland areas this afternoon. In the outlook for Friday and Friday night, little or no rain will develop. Winds today will blow from the east and northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and seas will be choppy. Low tides will occur at 6:13 this morning and 5:36 this evening. High tides follow at 12:05 this afternoon and 11:39 tonight. Temperatures this afternoon will peak at 72 Fahrenheit up in the Maya Mountains, 82 along the coast, and 87 inland. The moon will set at 8:33 this morning and the sun will set at 5:38 this evening. In the sargassum forecast, latest satellite images suggest that there is a slight increase in sargassum over the area. However, chances of sargassum affecting beaches and any potential impacts remain low. And that's the latest from the Belize Weather Bureau. Do have a pleasant day.
All right, there you have it. I know that earlier this morning it was quite foggy outside, and by the way of what I'm able to see from here, it still looks a little bit on the foggier side, so definitely take caution on the highways and on the roads as you traverse, and head to work this morning if you are already on the road. Moving now into our show lineup, we have a jam-packed show for you this morning. In our first conversation, we'll be joined virtually by Minister Rodwell Ferguson, and he'll be sharing how his ministry plans to foster youth empowerment and advance sports and transport for 2025.
And then our second conversation, it's all about courts, and they'll be in to show us how you can take advantage of unbeatable deals and flexible payment options to transform your home for the new year.
Right after that, we'll be joined by the folks from the National Kriol Council, and they'll be speaking to us about their upcoming general meeting and how they plan to build membership leading up to their 35th anniversary.
And then our last segment, Arana Consultancies tells us about their Pee Wee basketball tournament and how they're involving their community in sports.
They've been making waves as well. But we got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Minister Rodwell Ferguson, and he'll be talking to us about all things involved in his ministry and what we can expect in 2025. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm the coordinator of the Benga House of Culture niche. Before the Belize Bank online service, I had to travel to San Ignacio because we don't have a branch, a Belize Bank branch in our community. Now with the service, I can conduct my transactions at the office, at the comfort of my home, just anywhere in the world. It has made my life much easier. I would recommend the Belize Bank digital services to everyone and anyone. It gives you back your time, it's highly reliable, it's available 24/7, and it just makes your life easier.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
To Open Your Eyes, we are having our first conversation with Minister Rodwell Ferguson, and as we mentioned, it's going to be an extensive coverage of all things youth, sports, and transport. He's joining us virtually this morning, however, but we still plan to get the most out of this conversation. Good morning, Minister.
Good morning again, April.
How are you doing?
So far, so good.
Alrighty. Well, let's jump straight into the conversation, Minister, and begin with youth empowerment. I know that you have quite a large portfolio, and interestingly, I think it's one of those portfolios that are very different from each other. And so, along the lines of youth empowerment, what are key initiatives that we can expect from you in 2025?
Well, before I go there, April, yes, 3 huge departments. And we have a budget for the entire country, I believe, and the priority is always health, infrastructure, and education. And so, with the limited resources, with 397,000 people, then whatever is left have to be shared between different ministries. Youth, sports, and transport, we need additional resources, but I understand that we are all trying to get the funds from the same source. In terms of youth department, our population is 68% under the age of 29. And the demands from the youth department and the youth services is very exorbitant, but we try our best to meet their needs and their objectives. Every year we do on-the-line job training, where we find young people from across the country, put them to work with employers, and hopefully at the end of those services, then they can say, I'm going to employ you because I like how you operate in the training.
Right.
That by itself is very successful. So I'm saying after our program is completed, at least 90% of the young people are employed by these employers. So I really appreciate that. We try to have activities across the country. We have a plan and a schedule that we go from north to south, east to west to make sure we reach out to the young people. So we even open centers in rural communities. So we have, as a matter of fact, tomorrow we are going to open a brand new youth facility in Punta Gorda, just recently remodeled and built by the youth department and the government of Belize.
Well, congratulations there. One of the things that I wanted to point out, Minister, and perhaps this was prior to you getting the youth portfolio, because I remember that it was formerly under Minister Bernard. And one of the first initiatives that came out from the youth portfolio was a needs assessment, if I'm correct, yes, where there was essentially a survey conducted across the entire country asking young people what were their needs. What were some of the findings from that survey?
Okay, yes, we understand. First of all, they say they want more opportunities. They want to be able to go to school and the cost reduced at some point in time, and they want to be able to become entrepreneurs. And so we are trying to accomplish those objectives. So what we do through the Ministry of Education, we try to get as many education assistance for them, especially those young people that are on the streets. We try to partner with the Ministry of Education when we get their tuition pay at the high school level.
Right.
Fortunately, almost maybe 75% of the schools across the country is now practical what we call education free. So that by itself is a plus for the Department of Youth Services that we can get these kids in school almost at no cost.
Now, Minister, I want to take things in a bit, but a different direction, but still similar, and it has to do with sports. We know that sports plays a crucial role in youth development. So I want to talk a bit about what the ministry's plan is to develop sports infrastructure in 2025 as well as accessibility.
Well, Isani, as I mentioned in my earlier part of the conversation, we have a budget that is very limited. While many Belizeans are saying then, why can't we do X, Y, and Z? We are a country of only 397,000 people. And taxes is derived from that amount of people in the population. And so when the funds come in total, then the Ministry of Finance has to make sure it's properly issued, and there are ministries that need it more than some. Sports by itself, our industry can be created. But I can recall back in the 70s, when there was a football game in particular at a specific location, many Belizeans would go and be spectators at these football games.
Yeah.
With the advent of television, then people stay at home and look at television maybe locally or internationally. So by itself, a sports facility cannot support itself. So it depends solely on the Department of Sports to make sure these facilities are properly maintained, which is a bit difficult because the budget is very limited. I want to thank BWS, Belize Water Services, because when Belize was playing the under-17 basketball competition, I believe in 2023, we approached the three utility companies, BTL, BWS, and BTL. And they contributed back then to the under-17 basketball. But BWS consistently, after that, made provision for us in their budget for close to 150,000 every year to assist with sports. We use the money very wisely. So when teams are traveling across the globe or in the region, we tap into some of the resources from the BWS. And I want to thank the chairman of BWS, Mr. Cornelio Costa. Every time we have him ask him for some contribution to a particular event, then he made a contribution within that 150,000 budget. With the new tax law coming into effect, not tax law, but the tax break.
Correct.
For those who make their contribution to government, what they call a business tax, a new law was implemented that if you contribute towards sports and education and I believe health, then it's no tax deductible. That by itself will be a plus forward. I don't know if I will be the Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport after the election. That's the prerogative of the Prime Minister. But if I should be, then we start to visit these businesses and ask them for their contribution to sport, which is very significant. As we travel in the region, our athletes are doing extremely well. So whenever Belize go, we are a contender. Even though our competitors come from countries that have much bigger population than us, but Belize by itself have its own talent. So if you notice, many of our students are now enrolling in universities in the United States because they recognize that the children in Belize are very talented.
Yeah. So initially, I also asked about infrastructure here in Belize, sporting infrastructure, sporting facilities. Does your ministry sort of have a priority list in terms of saying, well, when it comes to sports infrastructure in Belize and the need to upgrade or even the need to construct, this is where we are as most important and perhaps not to say least important, but also what we need to get to in the long term?
I know you are a sports enthusiast for Channel 5, and that is part of your concern. And yes, there are priority lists, but again, the resources are limited. Right now, as you see, the MCC grounds is under renovation.
Yes.
I want to thank the Ministry of Finance and likewise the Belize Tourism Board for making that possible. And Sunday, we are going to have an official reopening of the Kriol Sports Auditorium. That have been renovated over the last 5 or 6 months. Again, I want to thank BWS for their effort and their contribution. So I just spoke to the chairman of BWS maybe a couple of days ago. I told him I want to do an estimate of some small facilities in Belize City, in particular the football field by Yabra, and I think the one by the police street. They went close to the Raccoon Street police station. So I want to do an estimate of those very quickly to see if that can be done very shortly. But it's a very tremendous task.
One of the things that I think is always important for us to speak about, Minister, is something that you alluded to in the start of our conversation, and that's where the budget is concerned and placement or finances is dispersed for youth and sports. We've heard from the public time and time again. We've heard from young people time and time again that they feel neglected where the budget is concerned. They feel that they are given the changes from all the other ministries. And that's where we've seen how you guys have had to become innovative and collaborate with the private sector. What are your thoughts on the budget and how the division is where youth and sports is concerned? Do you need more money?
Of course, every budget, even if it's the biggest budget, there's always need for more money. And as the minister responsible, I lobby, but I say the resources are very limited. But at the same time, try to make sure that they can reach out to the young people. I think early in December, we had a youth awards ceremony in PG. That by itself was a success. The people who were awarded were very happy that.
All right, we have.
The music.
We were experiencing some technical difficulties there moments ago, Minister.
One of the quick follow-ups I had initially, Sabrina, where sports is concerned. I think BWS and the utility companies here in Belize are they're a perfect example of how government and these organizations can collaborate to advance sports in Belize. Minister, what about regional and international organizations, partnerships with them to advance this sports in Belize? Have we been exploring any of that?
Well, first of all, I think the Belizean people need to first partner with sports. If you recall, last year we initially launched the Belize app to raise funds.
Right.
And we were asking simple for $1 contribution a month from every Belizeans. There were some glitches and we pulled back the app, but hopefully after the election the app will be launched again. And we are hopeful that then the companies, because of the tax break that they're going to get, will contribute significantly to sport in this country. So I remain very optimistic that it is going to work. We also launched an app in the United States. I want to thank a friend in California who decided to assist us to launch this app. So when the app in Belize should be launched after the election, we want to launch both apps together. One in Belize and one in California to raise funds from the diaspora likewise and who want to contribute to sports in Belize. But I'm very cognizant and I'm very pragmatic to find a solution to improve the quality of sport in this country.
Minister, let's take the conversation over to transport now. While there are some points of celebration that you experienced in this term, notably the electric buses, the electric mode of transportation in general, there's also been some challenges along the way. Give us an overview of what the transport portfolio has been like under your leadership.
It's a difficult portfolio because you're dealing with the commuters on a daily basis. Number one, the bus terminals sometimes they're not the best of condition.
Right.
And again, this is because of limitation. If you notice over the last 3 or 4 months, we are improving the Benopan bus terminal. We have partnered with UNDP, and we are going to transform the Belize City bus terminal likewise. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, we are going to open a brand new traffic department in the village of Independence to service that region, including Bella Vista, Kriol, all the villages surrounding Independence. Because right now, if they want to go and apply for their license, they have to travel all the way to Danviga or all the way to Punta Gorda. That's about an hour and a half from where they live to just to get a driver's license. So tomorrow, that office will be officially opening in Independence Village tomorrow. And so with that, we are upgrading Independence Village, the Independence bus terminal right now. So tomorrow you see the news, they're going to look at a brand new bus terminal and a brand new traffic office.
Nice. So, Minister, then let's talk a bit about some of the achievements or the major goals or improvements, if you would, that the ministry hopes to implement in 2025 where transport is concerned.
Well, first of all, if you can recall, in 2023, I told the operators that come January 2025, your buses must be in a certain condition. And so permits were issued up until December 2024. So basically, all bus operators' permit has expired. And we are giving them now just a temporary permit from now until March of 2025. As a matter of fact, we are having a meeting with the bus operators, I believe, today. And we're going to read them the right act. While they ask for a brand new bus, because we realize that there are limitations when it comes to the finances, we are telling them that your bus must be in a certain condition. And so when we meet with them today or tomorrow, we are going to remind them that we have given you at least 1.5 year notice, and we are going to make it be effective and implement it as quickly as possible. But in that regard, we have improved the bus transportation significantly. I want to highlight some operators. James Bus Line has done some upgrade. We have Floralia, who brought in brand new buses. The Trades from Orange Walk have done some upgrade. The Harry from Corozal have done some upgrade, and likewise West Line from Kaya District, and a few other small operators. So they are taking heed and making the sacrifices to upgrade.
When you think about how 2024 played out in terms of road traffic accidents, what do you think we can do differently from a ministry standpoint in 2025?
Well, if you notice, when we see the amount of road traffic accidents in December, Cabinet also got involved, and they instruct the Department of Transport and likewise the police department to put more boots on the ground. And if you notice, during the course of December, when we expected so many traffic accidents, there were very little because people were reminded and they take heed. But again, people are responsible for their own activities, especially at night time. When they go to party, then they drink and they drive. But there's a collaboration between the police and the traffic department to be able to at least carry out maybe 24 hours checkpoints across the country. Sometimes Belizeans may get frustrated and say, "I'll checkpoint again," but sometimes for their own safety. So we are hopeful that we can curb the amount of traffic accidents in 2025. I believe last year, 115 people lost their lives because of traffic accidents. Even more now than murders.
Wow, I would imagine that saddens you to hear.
Very, very, very sad. And I called my department heads together. I told them that we need to be more effective on the ground.
Minister, I have to ask you about the growing concern and even complaints about persons who are motorists and trying to acquire their license plates, licenses, and even driver's license. Across the country, we've heard mixed reviews on what acquiring these necessary credentials are like. But most notably, the Transport Office for the rural community has been waiting for almost a year to get these documents in order. And when we think of here in Belize City, I believe the Transport Office in Belize City comes under the management of the mayor, but they seem to have no type of issue getting their license plates and their license stickers. Why is that, Minister?
I agree with you, April. And whenever these things go on the national radio or TV, then because I'm the minister, then I get the blame. Ever since I assumed the responsibility, I'm telling my Department of Transport there must be a minimum and a maximum reality level. So, for argument's sake, if you reach 100, that means you know that you must be either to come to me with 500, that is the maximum.
So this is an ordering issue and not so much a supplier issue, Minister?
No, it's more an ordering issue.
An ordering issue.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago, or last week, we made an order for a large amount of license plate stickers and cards, so that will not be an issue of the past. So once those license plates are produced and stickers, we can see that the Department of Transport is on top of that now, and it will not happen again. And on my watch, I'm sorry.
All right, Minister.
So, Minister, let's look ahead a bit and talk a bit about what you see as perhaps some of the biggest challenges for your ministry this year and how you plan to overcome them.
Well, I said just now the biggest challenge is the license plates and stickers.
Okay.
So every time there is a weekly management meeting, I told my staff categorically that none of you are getting the blame, only me. So I need to see some quick adjustment and some quick improvement. And that's why I said in the last week, we added a huge amount of license plates. And I want to thank the Ministry of Finance for their cooperation and their support. So I believe that is now something of the past. The other thing that is my concern is the overloading of buses. Because when people travel across the country, they want to be comfortable. Nobody's standing up beside you because that is not the purpose of transporting people across the country. And we have a transport planning department. So I told the Chief Transport Officer that I want the department to get effective across the country as quickly as possible. And if they can do an assessment and tell us that, you know what, we need an additional bus and the Muscal Road for argument's sake. Because many times I get called from Muscal. They are telling me that because many of the young people are not working at call centers, then the demand for more transportation across the country is needed. And every time I get those messages, I reiterate those messages to my staff. I can tell you something as the minister, everything happens in transport, the public will call me. I have to make sure I call them and say, you know what, the public is calling me that X, Y, and Z is not working properly. Just recently, the public called me in relation to a bathroom in Danguiga. So right away, I got up on my staff. I said, no, this will never, ever happen. I asked them every month for a checklist to make sure that they get exactly what is affecting each bus terminal across the country. But I can assure you in 2025, it's going to be different. But as I said earlier, I can guarantee you, I will be the Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport after the next election. That is the prerogative of the Prime Minister.
Indeed.
Well, speaking on that topic, Minister, we do know that this year is also election year. And so while we are still waiting for that official announcement from the Prime Minister on when elections will be called, and I also understand not even you guys know, what is the preparation looking like your side?
Well, I have been preparing since 2020. So I have absolutely no fear what the result of the next election will be. The people of Stanquick West know that I have been there with them tooth and nail, and I think we are the only constituency in the country of Belize that issue over 6,000 house lots in the last 4 years. So the people here are happy.
Yeah. For you, though, Minister, you as the area representative, you have oversight or responsibility over a huge area. In fact, the population is large, one of the largest constituencies in Belize. Did it come as sort of a disappointment, or do you take it anyway that this election, there's no redistricting ahead of this election, and so all of that is still on you? Are you looking forward to having your constituency split to kind of take off some of the load off of you, because of course resources has to be stretched thinner?
Yes, I agree with you 100%, but I do not micromanage, and so I allow all my village council to do their part in their village. What I do, once they make a submission to any department, I make sure I follow through. And so I establish a good relationship with my village councils and my people. And even though it is a huge constituency, after final registration this year, it should be almost 11,000 voters. Wow. Compared to Mesopotamia, which I think have 2,300 voters. Wow. That is the comparison. And so because I maintain a relationship with all my people, even though I anticipate and want a reduction in numbers, I've established a wonderful relationship with all my people over the years. So I really appreciate them.
All right. Well, Minister, as we wrap up this conversation, we'll extend a final opportunity for you to share some thoughts with our viewers.
Well, first of all, I want to, especially in transportation, to the general public, I want to say that yes, there were some deficiencies in the Ministry of Transport, and we are hopeful that in 2025 that will change. As I told you, the license plate, the stickers, and the cars now will be a thing of the past. We are going to put the minimum stock in place, and likewise the maximum stock. So if that is not done by the department, then I will have to deal with them personally, because every time I get the blame, I said, man, I'm innocent. But because I'm the head of the department, then I have to take the blame. In terms of sports, as Belize travel across the region and across the globe, they are doing extremely well. I'm hopeful that we should get some assistance financially through Bolido and Lottery. If you notice that we have properly managed Bolido and Lottery in this country, that the proceeds is significantly much more than what used to happen under UDP time. And Prime Minister says that funds will go towards health, in particular for the majority, and some will go towards sports. So if you know he's going to roll out, I think, NHI in the Kriol district very shortly. So I'm hopeful that some funds will come for the improvement of sports in this country. In terms of the youth department, yes, we need to reach out, especially to those youth on the street, to figure out how we can create opportunities for them. I can assure you, as we enter into 2025, we are going to find the way forward. To my constituents, as we said, the election is right upon us. And the last election, I won by almost 2,400 votes. This time around, I believe it's going to increase. But at the same time, I don't get complacent. I make sure I work for my people every single day. It's a huge amount of villages, but they appreciate me and I appreciate them. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you as well, Minister. There you have it. Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport. We take a quick break now, but when we come back, the conversation switches into unifying voices for a stronger Kriol culture. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Coming up, these chefs and mixologists produce their creative best for their biggest party yet. This steel band has been making a difference for over 40 years. An island filled with beauty, a vibrant culture, and an iconic natural attraction. Now, where can this be? It's all next on this station.
My name is Leomar Langsert and I'm a teacher and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer. With these online that Belize Bank offered is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
You can get so much more when you shop on credit at Quartz. Get more of the furniture, appliances, and electronic runs you love with 20% off 24+ month accounts. Get more flexibility with low monthly payments and up to 48 months to repay. Get more of what you need right away and pay later. Get more convenient repayment methods via Quartz.com, bank transfer, or in-store. Get more protection for your purchase with Quartz Super Shield. Get more value with Quartz, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back. This is our second conversation for this morning, and it's all about unifying voices for a stronger Kriol future. And we have joining us on set this morning Mr. Michael Kemp, and he's a Vice President of the National Kriol Council, as well as Wilford Felix, who's a Subcommittee Chair for Cultural Preservation, also of the National Kriol Council. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning.
How are we this morning?
Doing fine this morning.
Good.
Excellent.
Glad it's Thursday. Friday Junior.
Friday
happy.
Junior.
Yes.
Well, thank you for saying it. I thought we forgot. But Mr. Kemp, let's jump right into the conversation as we gear up for our 30th anniversary celebration, as well as the general meeting that's coming up. What are some of the key issues that will be addressed at this upcoming general meeting?
All right, so our general meeting will be this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Swift Hall. And for people who don't know where Swift Hall there, right by Martin Church, was that big crest, that was Swift Hall there. And we want to start 2 o'clock. And we start 2 o'clock because we have people from our district who want to join with as well, and we need to respect their time. And so we ask everybody if you please get the 2 o'clock. And I'm leading the Belize time, but we want to start part-time as well. We want to start 2025 on that, no?
Yeah.
Punctual. We want as best as we could be, right?
Yes.
And at the general meeting, we have several things going on. We have an executive that needs to be elected. I have been serving as the vice president since December of 2022, and it's a 2-year term. And so that term came to an end last month. And I have to shout out here our outgoing president, Ms. Marlene Garvin. She came to the helm at a time when we were coming out of COVID, at a time when we were trying to rebuild what exactly the council is. And so she took up the leadership post along with us other executive members, and she has served us well. And she has decided not to run again, but we give her thanks for her time. And so the first thing on the agenda really at that meeting will be to get the new executive together. Okay. We have several people who have been nominated. So at that meeting, they will introduce themselves. They will go over what their vision looks like. And then we move into the second part of that. So when we're done that kind of business part of what we do, we move into another very important thing, which is the pre-launch of our dictionary.
Ooh.
So our dictionary is a labor of love. That dictionary has had many people present and some in the past now who have been working on it. And so the dictionary is at its 2nd edition. So this is the first dictionary.
I was going to ask because I feel like I've seen a Kriol dictionary
You've seen it, correct?
We've even seen Kriol Bibles.
Yeah.
Kriol Bible, Kriol Dictionary, several of the recordings. I look at even your Monica that you have. A part of it is in Kriol as well. Several of your things,
like
the culture
Yes.
culture segments
start
and
your
stuff like
morning
that.
right.
Start your morning right.
Yeah.
And so all of those things have been born out of the proper spelling, the proper writing, the
Yeah.
proper way to speak Creole and express it.
It's a huge thing, you know, to get a proper spelling for Creole, and
Correct.
and we oftentimes have arguments,
That's true.
even heated debates about how you spell this and how you spell that in Creole.
We not have to get that because the dictionary.
Dictionary, all right.
We've had a language arm over the past, and we are getting to what the 30 years, but we've had this language arm come up, consult, look at different things within the region, how to get the Creole standardized. Pawibana, you must see that on the page eventually. It said we want with people learn how to read and write the pretty Creole.
Aye.
Well, I could tell you this, Michael, some Creole I get in a text messages have me to sound out words and I could read fluently.
Well, I want to tell you, girl, sometimes when my mother texts me in a Creole, I have to hold my head and say, but mother, what you this say? But I guess I have to forward that second edition. But through collaboration, the language arm along with the Ministry of Education, they have been working on producing the second edition, and we're going to have a pre-launch at the general meeting. Not the big launch, the one kind of soft launch for the membership, so that they could have access to it. We'll have hard copies, and eventually the ministry, along with members of that language arm, will have their big launch at the dictionary.
Okay.
And then the third thing at the general meeting, we're having the introduction of our 30th year, the anniversary. So the general meeting really will begin the 30th year celebration.
Well, before we get into what 30 years looks like from the National Creole Council's perspective, I want to get Wilford in the conversation. He is the subcommittee chair for cultural preservation. And essentially, I think the conversation around your role would be all things preservation of the Creole culture in the first place. What does that look like when we've seen how Belize on its own has been mixed with so many different types of cultures? When we talk marriage and childbearing, and then of course there's the Western part of being influenced by what we see on TV. How difficult is it in this day and age preserving the Creole culture?
Well, I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would just say that it's a challenge.
Okay.
And what helps is being passionate about our culture and our heritage. It helps also to research. If you listen to your ma and your pa and your granny, all the story where you might figure say boring, when I'm small, reflecting back on those as an adult is key, because that's part of living the culture. So my focus as the chair for cultural preservation is workshops, seminars, trainings, and particularly geared towards children. We like to say children are the future, but I like to say children are the present.
Exactly.
Because they're here now. And in educating children, what we actually do, that prepare them for the rest of their life. So gathering. Well, I've been a researcher for as far back as I could remember, studying Belizean history, Caribbean history, African history. So when I became involved with the Creole Council in 2013, that just put a sail on my ship, and we're gone from there. So being prepared to know what our direct heritage is, being a mix of British and African and Mosquito. What traditions did we get from the Mosquito? What traditions did we get from the British? What traditions did we inherit from Mother Africa? Me, I am more African than anything else. That's why most places just say, I got a dashiki.
Nice.
Practicing the culture is the main focus in preserving our heritage. Because if we don't practice the culture, that's how it dies. That's a big part of why we have been working on standardizing the Creole, so that Creole people anyway could learn to read and write Creole and talk Creole. Well, we don't talk Creole. So the biggest challenge there is the writing of it and the reading of it. But the culture is alive, when we're practicing it.
Here's not to interrupt, but here's a thought-provoking question. Where will a Creole man or woman look like? And I ask that because we have two individuals representing I can't talk me Creole. You got two people when they represent the Creole council
will look
different. Two different complexion, two different hair type.
You know what that show? That show the beauty of who
the
we
diversity.
are. That in that diversity, that Kriol is so open that once you have any part of yourself having that Afro-descendant heritage, you're a Kriol. And so it no matter that my hair
that is straight.
Well, I don't even know if they're straight nowadays. Right. More braid than Wilford one for sure. But it no matter that the complexion and stuff. I think sometimes we get caught up in that, not recognizing that they're not just one shade, they're not just one hair type. That the culture, who it means to be a Creole, now much more than that exterior, how you look.
Yeah.
And think about it in the universal sense of what Creole means in Belize. There is nothing more Belizean than rice and beans. And there is nothing more Creole than rice and beans. And so you look at it on that universal level, but also if you look at that Afro-descendant, that we're Afro-descendant people. Yep.
Now, I like get technical.
Yeah, get
right?
technical.
So, technically, one Creole is an Afro-descendant. Why we say Afro-descendant rather than European descendant? Because of the Mendelian law. Dr. Mendel was a geneticist, and he developed the concept of genes. So he says that when you mix a dominant gene with a recessive gene, the product is always the dominant.
Right.
So that's why we are Afro-descendants, because the African genes are dominant globally. Caucasian or European genes are recessive because they can only produce Caucasian. Right?
Yeah.
They can only produce that color with maybe a range of hair types, hair color and eye color. But the skin color will always be the same. Why are we called human? Not H-U-M-A-N, but H-U-E-M-A-N. Hue means from a darker to a lighter color.
Correct, the variation.
So when we look upon Creole, we see that variation. The African by itself produced that variation. So when you put the European in the mix, then we could get lighter complexions within the Creole hue or the Creole spectrum.
I really like how you think, and it was just a thought-provoking question. I want to jump back into the general meeting, but more so to talk about membership. I know it's a huge part of your focus. Let's talk a bit about what's being done to encourage and increase in membership, and if that's something we're looking for.
So our membership drive has always been ongoing. So any event that we have, we encourage people to become members. And even with this meeting on Saturday, we're asking that people come out to join on that day. On that day, when you come and you register, you will have all voting rights as anybody who has been in the organization 10, 15 years. Come out on Saturday, register, become a member, because it's up to us that we are the ones who will see how the culture progresses.
Right.
You know, a lot of times we hear, oh, things not happen and things. No. It's what we put into it. And so we are passionate people.
Rightfully so, yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
And sometimes some people say, bembe, or they behave this way or that way. But you have to be.
Yep.
You have to be for the things that are important to you. And so we encourage all Creole people to be that we are a people. We look in the region. We look right here in Belize. We're an endangered people. All right, think about the last census. The last census showed where we are in terms of the population size. So if we don't figure out amongst ourselves what that cultural preservation means, and if we don't figure out that, okay, in terms of the language, in terms of the culture, but now 30 years down the road, what other aspects do we have to look at? You look at the issue with Yemery Grove. You look at the issue with land access. Some of our people in the River Valley communities, they don't have any type of titles to their land.
Yeah.
So that will start to become one of the issues that we have to be advocating on. You look at Monkey River, for example, all the erosion that is going on there, the few families that are left there, what are we doing in terms of preserving their livelihood? And so the council, I think, at 30 years, and this will have to be the work of the new executive, we are branching off, we're expanding in terms of the language and the cultural performances, and but looking at economic empowerment for people, looking at all of these issues that the Kriol person has to cope with each day, and even looking at the males or males at risk. With the hub, Wilford has been doing a good job with the young people. Musa and his Drums Not Guns initiative. And how do we lobby with the government to ensure that funds are available to get more of these programs going? I have been working with a program with Sika, with the president of the Garifuna Council, and also April, she is the state representative, to figure out a project that encompasses Afro-descendants here on a whole. For a while, I think before I ban, it may seem that there was some kind of chasm between Garifuna Kriol. Garifuna Kriol. At the end of the day, we're both Afro-descendant populations. So we figure out together how we appreciate, we value, and we work with each other on ways that could bring out the best of us. Take, for example, the same drumming with the skins. Both of us have our drum. We know what it means to our culture, but we also have an issue when it comes to repairing the drums. We have an issue when it comes to people knowing that particular skill. So a part of our project with Sika is figuring out how to incorporate this and work together.
Gentlemen, this has been a rich conversation. I wish we had more time. There's so many other areas that we could dive into. But perhaps the final question from me just has to do with what we can anticipate the next 30 years look like. I mean, we're celebrating 30 years of the National Kriol Council. What are we expecting in 2025?
We expect that we go forward renewed with a vision that looks to a future filled with hope. You know, I can't go down the road and say, well, we'd want our people to do so much. What I can say is this is what has been done, and we want to build on one strength to the next strength. And so when I look at the end of my 2-year term and looking into what the future looks like, I am grateful and I am optimistic. The second edition of the dictionary is going to be rolled out. We're going to complete this general meeting. We have Emancipation Day that we celebrate with the Ibotong Festival. We have Flowers Bank Day that we have been celebrating. We have Gales Point, which will, at the end of this year in December, hopefully, God willing, be inscribed on the UNESCO list. And that is something big. And that has been a labor of love from Selene Solis, from Wilford, from several people who took weeks to go into Gales Point and document the Sambai and the traditional Bram and everything that goes on in Gales Point. Is there more work to be done? Of course. But you know what? After the general meeting, we'll move forward together.
Final question for me and to you, Mr. Felix, and I know you have your final thoughts, but what do you envision cultural preservation will look like moving forward for the Creole community here in Belize, or Creole people? And there's this thing in schools and the workplace and professional arena that you're not supposed to talk Creole. What do you think about that?
It's not professional.
Well, I will say what my mentor, Miss Myrna Manzanares, always says. Creole is the lingua franca of Belize. English is the official language, but Creole is the lingua franca. For example, if I ask you, what language you think in?
I think in a Creole.
The answer will be Creole.
Exactly. That's
right?
what you're thinking, you know.
So that's what the lingua franca is, the language that you learn before you even know if you speak.
That's true.
Right? So moving forward for me, Creole cultural preservation is a national endeavor. It is a social endeavor. It is an educational endeavor. So we have with dictionary, we have other material, we have a book specifically with name You Can Read and Write Creole.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main, it's a small book. It's one of the main tools that I use in teaching how to read and write Creole. So I look forward to seeing more Creole-oriented information in schools. Social studies have a fuller Creole history because of we Creole ancestors build this country. And after we set the foundation for it, then other cultures come in and lay blocks and put up stud and set in window. So the Creole contribution to what Belize is and has become has to be officially recognized. For we celebrations, there have to be national celebrations. Every year we go to Flowers Bank on June 1st or close to June 1st. This has to be nationally acknowledged. And we want to push for it become a holiday. Mm-hmm. 19th of November for the Garinago is a holiday. June 1st will be a holiday for we. Emancipation Day, which is August 1st, is already a holiday. So we have to keep the ball rolling.
Excellent.
So moving forward through the National Creole Council, we will have a full year's calendar of activities. Because every day, every week, every month, so Creole Day to acknowledge and celebrate that has contributed to we as Belize.
Excellent. Yep. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both so much for joining us on set this morning. Very exciting and insightful conversation. I hope we could do it again sometime.
Yes, and we'll have to come back.
So definitely after the general meeting, we'll come back again.
Excellent,
right. Yep.
Excellent. All right, so with that, we are take our break, and when we come back, we have more. Stay tuned.
Clearly documented that we have been having, as a planet, an increase in incidence of cancers. And remember, cancer is a genetic disease.
When you now look at somebody's DNA or their genetics, it can tell you everything about a person. So what we use next generation sequencing to do in particular is to look at hereditary cases of diseases.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
My name is Nayeli Yakab. I'm the coordinator of the Benga House of Culture niche. Before the Belize Bank online service, I had to travel to San Ignacio because we don't have a Belize Bank branch in our community. Now with the service, I can conduct my transactions at the office, at the comfort of my home, just anywhere in the world. It has made my life much easier. I would recommend the Belize Bank digital services to everyone and anyone. It gives you back your time, it's highly reliable, it's available 24/7, and it just makes your life easier.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys, it's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're jumping into our third conversation, and it's all about saving big when shopping with Quartz. This morning we are joined by Marian Middleton, and she is the branch manager for Quartz. And also with her is Kelson Tillett, and he's the credit officer representing Quartz Ready Cash. Guys, welcome back and Happy New Year. I think after this, we can't say Happy New Year no more.
Yeah, correct.
After the 15th. This is the last time. It's all right.
Halfway through January.
But welcome back, guys, and thank you so much. I know that you guys just came off the heels of a very busy holiday. A lot of shoppers stopping by. And while we call this month the MAGA season, I think it's nice to know that you guys still have something for everyone where savings are concerned. Where do we start?
Well, we start with a lot coming for this month. We all talk about, yes, the MAGA season. But guys, we are bringing to you, Belize, a 30%, a whopping 30% off all credit. And that's 18 months and up. You actually get 30% off whatever item you want in the store that will value minimum of $2,000.
Wow.
And it's pretty easy. It's all about coming in, sitting down, giving all the information that you need. You need to give a proof of your ID, residence, and job, and it starts. There's a lot more to offer, and within this 30% off credit, there's so much when it comes to protection plan, and I will definitely allow Kelston to walk through that for us.
Yeah, so we know maybe a lot of people might have missed out on opportunities for the holidays, you know, and we still try to give them opportunities even after the holidays. Yeah. And that's why we're kicking off the year with our on the road show. That's what we call it. Whereby we focusing on going on all the different branches countrywide to offer these promotions to all the different branches. And starting today in Belize City, the doors are open. Today and tomorrow, as we speak right now, this promotion is on, whereby, as Ms. Marian was mentioning, you get that 30% off that credit. And the requirements, a lot of people often ask about the requirements for credit accounts, you know, and you bring in your ID, you bring in job letter, pay slips, you bring in a utility bill and 2 references, and you could walk away with your products, no deposit down, you know.
You know what? I don't know if this is a difficult question, but forgive me for asking either way. What happens when there are self-employed persons coming and trying to get an item on credit?
Yeah, so formal employment, self-employed people, they all have the they could get anything in the store as well, you know. When it comes to self-employed, we try to work closely with them, you know, because some of them may think that the process is difficult, but it's the same thing. They come in and we try to work with them single-handedly with just bringing in your proof of business. Like if you're a small-time business owner that does not have a registered business, we still work with them, you know.
Okay.
You provide us with proof of income, you know, showing that you actually have this business up
Like
and
a
running.
bank statement, would
Yeah,
that
bank
work?
statements, you know,
Yes.
pictures of your business running and those stuff, and the credit officers like myself, I do it a lot. I have that talk with them and we work out their financials so that they could get that credit available for them so that they could walk away with their products as well. And we've been driving that initiative for a while, you know, and trying to let them know out there that they could come in and they could, you know, invest in their business through courts, you know, without paying anything down. And that's a big help for self-employed people, you know. They get a lot of products, you know. I've had this man come in that they sell snow cones and he wanted, you know, a freezer, you know, a freezer. So we have ice machine makers, and you know, and he thought it was going to be difficult, and we just worked with him. He gave us projection of his sales and got him a credit account, you know, and he was very happy, you know. And so that's the initiative we drive for self-employed people. We work single-handedly with them, you know, personally.
So the discount, that the 30% off that we're offering here is for persons specifically seeking to get that item on credit.
On credit.
Yes.
So it's a credit account. So that's a benefit to one of the benefits for those seeking to credit with courts.
And initiative we're driving for on the road, we stress that we're doing one-day approvals, you know.
Oh.
So
Yes.
you walk in the store, you get your approval, especially if you're a customer that already shops with us. Walk in and you walk right out with your product. But our next thing that we're driving is the credit forgiveness. And this is something that we like to tell people, that if you have a bad credit with us, it doesn't mean that we completely break off that relationship with you. We try to work with you to, you know, forgive that debt, help you to rebuild your credit history.
What does that look like? What is credit forgiveness?
Okay, so there have people that have had a balance outstanding for maybe 5 to 7 years, you know, and they don't want to come in the store and to get another item.
They want to drive past courts.
We're driving an initiative to get them to come in, and we offer them discounts on the balances that they have. You know, conditions apply for that, and we try to work with them to put them on a plan to pay off their debt that they have before, and they could still walk away with the item that day as well. You know, so. You're paying off your debt while you're paying for your new product, and that's a debt forgiveness, you know. And you know,
what
we know things
also
happen.
do is try to push and encourage them to start off with a small plan. We have plan that goes from 3 months up to 48 months.
Correct.
Right, that will definitely fit your need. It all depends on your expense and the amount that you're willing to pay a month. So we will start off like a 6 months plan with them, so they can actually start to see how they can manage within that 6 months period a small item, nothing too large. And after completing that, then perhaps they can probably get a dining set or a sofa set, you know, or something bigger that will be at a little bit more value and allow them to build back that credit history. So that's the way we're turning when it's coming to the forgiveness plan.
If I don't have an account with courts and I come prepared with all my documents, how much time do I have to plan or prepare to spend with someone there to get my account and stuff together?
Okay,
generally.
Or sales rep, Miss Marianne could tell you as well, you know.
It's pretty much an hour it will take you, but keep in mind the store sometimes, especially on weekends like this, and we're doing this awesome 30% off credit plan, you know, it's going to be really busy. And then if you're not putting that time apart, like you might come in and say you'll do it between lunch, you know, because you're working and want to do it between lunch. Most people in Belize have a contact person, at Courts, that they can pick up and call and say, you know what, I'm coming in, I'm looking at a fridge today or even a stove, can you start? You know, and for new customers, yes, come in and we start the process. As long as you have all your documents, it should take you an hour.
One of the questions that I also wanted to ask, where the documents and applying for credit is concerned, do you have to be employed at a particular institution or be self-employed for a period of time prior to applying for the credit?
So we look at, we have our policies in place where we look at a minimal of 6 months employment.
Okay.
But we do look at your previous history of employment as well when we interview her. Those are questions that we ask, and maybe some person have like 2-3 months employment at a particular establishment, but it's a continuation of employment, you know. So they leave one employment
and they went straight
into another one. We take all that into consideration and we confirm the previous employment as well, and then, you know, once we see that you have a stable employment period, we have no problem offering you credit accounts as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
So the discount is 30%. I heard you mention that it's store-wide, but on items $2,000 and less?
$2,000 and up.
$2,000 and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would put you in that bracket for the 18 months and to offer the 30%.
All right. So if you're looking at items like your fridge, you have that in the price range.
And we also have promos going on right now for the bundles, that is for cash accounts, where you get washers and dryers, you get 15% off, you get a stove and refrige, 10% off. And you also get, looking for small appliances like kettles, blenders. I mean, you know, it's January the 16th today. We're still into that get fit and think about, hey, it's a new year. My year is to get fit. My year is to live healthy. My year is to just make a change for me, right? So we offer discounts on blenders, toasters, anything that would allow you to prep that meal, to continue or to look into that lifestyle that you want. And even to push forward, we have a full stock gym equipment that will allow you to move into that body. I mean, I'm talking for myself, right?
Or that stationary bike.
Now is the time to do that. Now is the time to come over and see what we have to offer. You can actually build your own gym at your house from our equipments and for what we have to offer at Courts.
And you get all of that on.
You can get all of that right now on that 30% right now.
Incredible. Fantastic. So I could walk over to a gym this weekend.
Yes. Or you could start.
Start building your
building.
The most important thing right here is to start.
Yes, yes.
Now, one of the questions that we like to ask businesses like Courts is in terms of community engagement and community involvement. I don't know if you come prepared to answer questions like that, but what is it that Courts is doing or has been doing or has done to sort of give back to the community and be that good corporate citizen?
We have done a lot of give back over the past years. We have also adapted schools. We have adapted different areas that we do come out and offer. The last we did was for KMH. We had adapted the nursing area for mothers that just had baby, and maybe the baby had to stay in. They were able to come and have a nice area where they can nurture that child while they're in there.
I remember that.
Yeah, we had adapted a very nice room that allowed new mothers to still have that one-on-one and have that privacy when it comes to nurturing their newborns.
That's an excellent way of showing that aside from making profits, Courts also gives back. I just want to look at the dates on the screen once more, because while it is a 30% discount, it is also what they're calling a road show. And so in different branches across the country on different dates, these discounts will be taking place.
And guys, we start in Belize store. Don't miss it. It starts today and tomorrow. And then we move over Tuesday in Belmopan on the 21st, San Ignacio on the 23rd, Curacao on the 28th. So we're covering all district. We have Orange Walk on the 29th, PG and Dangriga the 5th and the 6th. So if you're not able to hit Belize on the 16th and the 17th, please look out. There's one in your area coming with the 30% off roads show.
All right. Well, guys, this has been a wonderful conversation. As we wrap up the segment, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our viewers?
So one final thing that I want to add is if you cannot come into our branches when this road show is happening, we have our online telesales group that you could do full online applications from the comfort of your home over WhatsApp, or you could go to courts.com and upload the necessary documents that we shared with you, and you're available for credit, you know. So the WhatsApp number is there on the description in courts.com that you could get in contact with a representative. You send them your documents and you could apply for credit right from the comfort of your home as well if you cannot make it into the stores.
And we would want to thank Belize for your continuous support. I mean, you guys are the main of our customer, and we continue give you customer satisfaction, and we continue bringing value to your home. We want to say thank you, Belize.
Why is 2025 the year to shop at Courts?
2025, the year to shop at Courts, is we have everything to offer. We're a one-stop shop. It's not for you to be looking when it comes to comparison. We have better prices, we have plans, we also have protection on each one of our product.
Flexibility, affordability.
There's no way that gives you that. You have that extended warranty to shop with us.
Yes. Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, guys. It's a pleasure as always, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, we take our final break, but don't go away because we still have one more conversation to look forward to. When we come back, it's all about building confidence, one shot, or one hoop, we should say, at a time.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections, pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Coming up, these chefs and mixologists produce their creative best for their biggest party yet. This steel band has been making a difference for over 40 years. An island filled with beauty, a vibrant culture, and an iconic natural attraction. Now, where can this be? It's all next on this station.
Welcome back. This is our final conversation for this morning, and it's all about building confidence one shot at a time with Arana's consultancies and their Pee Wee basketball tournament. And we have joining us on set none other than Mr. Ramil Arana himself, as tournament coordinator, of course, at Arana Consultancies, as well as Mr. Calbert Carcamo, who is a head coach at Brotherhood of Ballers. Gentlemen, good morning.
And welcome back.
Sir. Welcome back to both of you. You're no strangers to the morning show here. But let's start with you, Mr. Arana, to talk a bit about the momentum that this Pee Wee basketball tournament has picked up and what that has been like.
Well, yeah, I came here and I spoke about the competition in November, right before the initial one. And what I tell you, from that time, it's been a bit of fulfilling work for me. Each competition we've had about 9 teams, which amounts up to about 90 children out there at the hub playing basketball all day. The first competition ended in a game-winning shot. So the excitement has been there. The children, a lot of these kids, it's their first jersey. A lot of these kids won't get to play at the higher levels because they aren't as developed. But seeing these children out there and seeing the joy on their face because they have a chance to play basketball is been very fulfilling for me. And I love to continue with the momentum that we built last year and try to get it going for the rest of 2025.
What was the initial inspiration for this tournament?
Oh, well, like I said, the initial inspiration was looking at the competitions that we took part in, the U18 and the U17 competitions in basketball for Belize. I looked at it and I said, man, a lot of these teams, they've been together since they were youths. They were like about 8 or 9 years old. And we, on the other hand, put teams together from about 16, 17. Like, you know, these kids were playing like 1 year together. So how are we going to compete with that chemistry? So I looked at the process and I said, you know, I could develop a league and try to get these players to play some basketball from a young age and play together. And maybe part of it is even to get a selection together to play internationally. In fact, that idea has come to the fore where there's different competitions in Mexico that's been going on, and maybe if we're able to get representation all around, we could get like an all-star team from the competition and have them represent us as well. There's different things that could go on, you know. So it's coming to fruition. It's slowly but surely, but we're going to get there.
One thing we have seen over time is that there are so many opportunities for young people when they invest in themselves with sports. We've seen many ways in various sporting disciplines that young people have gotten scholarship opportunities to further their education and really come back equipped to enter the work field. I want to take the conversation over to Calbert, though, because this is also not the first time he's joined us on set. And we really learned his story and his passion behind basketball in his community as well, representing Brotherhood of Ballers. Talk to us about the collaboration between Arana Consultancy, the Pee Wee basketball tournament, and why you guys wanted to ensure that your kids from Orange Walk was a part of this competition.
Well, first off, I'd like to say kudos to Mr. Arana, no? The Pee Wee Basketball Invitational Tournament is a real great initiative. It's so great that, I mean, it helps me personally that needs to travel to take my kids to play ball. Now, I don't have to do that as often, no? Because the reason we travel is to get them active in different tournaments that we don't have here, because like Mr. Arana mentioned, they don't have any tournaments for the kids. If we don't wait until Ahmadiyya starts, and Ahmadiyya doesn't cater for U10, U12, you understand, the age, it's like some of the kids are being left out then.
Right.
And if they can't participate because of their age in a tournament, where does that leave them, no?
Right.
We don't want them to be left out. So again, kudos to Mr. Arana for this. And Brotherhood Ballers really appreciate it, because I mean, this year our traveling would have been 4, 5 times we would have to travel this year, no? Being the year has just started.
Yeah, just to compete.
Yes, yeah, just to compete. Now we have a little tournament every month we can go, so my kids can leave a range walk, go to Belize, participate, interact with other kids. I mean, it's something great for the kids. It's something great for us, for Belize in a whole, you know. Then kids, they get to know one another from a young age.
Yeah.
So they're not just about basketball, no?
Did you participate in the last one, or this will be your first?
No, this is the first. This is the first M1. Because what happened, we'll first to leave for a range walk. I have 2 teams that I'm taking to the Pee Wee, you know, and we need transportation. Mr. Arana, they provide the food, so I mean that's a big help to us, no?
It's easier, yeah.
So it's only the transportation we have to cover. But last year we were on the verge of going to Cozumel, so we couldn't. The funds wasn't coming in like that, no?
Aligning, correct.
So we took them to the one out there, hoping they got more experience now. When they come here now, we'll see how they do, no?
Yeah. Beyond basketball, Mr. Arana, what sort of skills beyond basketball and values do you hope tournaments like this can instill in these kids?
Well, it's not generally me. In all honesty, while I've been working, on a basketball tournament, I also have a basketball camp. And I realized that all of our participants, they've been working very hard. They understand these kids. The children come to them and give them some of their life stories, their life situations. They've been given advice and all of these things, you know. So, and even when we're working on sponsorship, the last tournament in December, we had the UNDP down there, and they were spreading awareness about climate change, these types of things. So, in working with the different sponsors, I want to get these types of educational matters being spread to the children. And even so, we have Mr. Carcamo here out of Orange Walk. We have Mr. Randy Usher out of Orange Walk with the Sugar City Flames. We have Mr. Brackett from the Conquering Lions. We have Mr. Moody with the ABS Hard Rock. And we have my personal camp, the MVPs, with we have foreigners, Mr. Nigel Jones and Chris Frazier and Mr. Campbell, Coach Campbell, and all of these individuals are doing their utmost best to teach these individuals not only basketball but life skills where they want to see them. In my camp personally, we've told the children over and over it would be a crowning achievement to see one of them receive a scholarship in the US. Yeah. That would be one of the best things that could happen. So it's not only that we try to talk to them about basketball, it's about life, it's about education, it's about being a good person. And like you said, they're trying to engage on different broader activities like climate change. So we're trying to get everything going in the right direction for these children so we create great citizens and not only basketball players.
This obviously started from somewhere, though. I remember hearing the backstory of Mr. Carcamo and what his personal story was like and how that merged into his now initiative of inspiring and instilling good life skills within the young people from Orange Walk. Where and how long was this initiative in the making from you?
Oh, well, I've always loved basketball. I've always been eager participant in all basketball activities. I watched you play basketball a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
But I've always been a fan, and there are certain things that we see that sometimes we don't like, and every time I look at it, I said, but you can do something. You could do something. So for me, I've been involved from the age of like about 13. And just to I blame myself a little bit for just getting involved now. But there is things that we can do to help improve our game. Even when we're looking at our highest levels of basketball, sometimes we look at the locals there, and we said, oh, the teams, the locals on the teams, some people say they're underperforming. But if they're not taught the skills and the fundamentals from a young age, they can't transfer it to when they go play basketball at the highest levels. So that's where we're trying to come from. We're trying to start it from the bottom to get everybody to a point where they are good basketball performers. They might not be the best or most talented, but they are solid basketball players that you could put out there to represent you, to represent a basketball team, to represent their school team, to represent their country. We're trying to get them to those points.
What is funding like for initiatives like this? You talk about a camp, these initiatives, just this competition, feeding these kids.
I'm always happy when you bring up the topic. It's been a struggle, to say the least. It's happening, and I understand that there might not be confidence in ventures that just begin. But right now, especially we've had different businesses chip in at different tournaments. So we had Bowen and Bowen for the first 2 competitions, and then we've had the Digi and Digi Wallet crew in December, along with the UNDP, as I had mentioned. But right now, for this competition, we only have Madisco that's provided a little donation towards the children. So it's been mostly funded by myself this competition again is funded mostly by myself, and it's a little bit of a struggle, but we try to reach out and try to let everybody know that these initiatives are worthwhile. Yeah. If they would come out there and just see the smile on some of those kids' faces, they would understand that it's a great thing to happen for these children.
What do you tell your kids when they win? And more importantly, what do you tell them when they lose?
Well, at Brotherhood we have a how you would say, not policy, but like a protocol, and we not use the word lose.
Okay.
For we to learn. And winning have to be together. We team not celebrate winning separately. If we team win a game, that everybody will celebrate winning, and everybody will feel a love. If they not score 1 basket, even if they not play, that's why again Mr. Arana kudos, because in the Pee Wee tournament, every child has to play. Even if they don't know how to play. So right now my crowd for Range Walk, why they bring the youth in, some of them can't really play ball, and just to get them together because they want to play, you know?
Yeah, they're just being introduced.
Yes, ma'am. So we to bring them. And they don't know about our word lose.
But they have to play.
And that's a part of it too.
That's how the development comes, no?
Indeed.
Give them a chance.
Yeah. There are 2 groups. There's the U10 and the U13. In the U10 groups, everybody gets participation medals. There is no loser. I watched my son in particular, I watched my son cry the first tournament because they didn't win their games. In the second tournament, I watched them cheer, and I watched another team cry. Yeah. And I felt like really it's, you go through the emotional roller coasters, watching them have fun, then somebody doesn't win, and so I don't like the narrative of losing. Exactly. That's the narrative that I don't like. I want them to understand that they are learning. And they are getting better. That's what I want them to understand.
Let me tell you guys, you'd be surprised how entertaining these games are, okay? Yeah. I mean, we have no BBL this year, so we're all going to Pee Wee tournament. I'm telling you.
We might just have BBL and another conversation.
That's a different conversation, not for us.
Conversation
not for us.
But it's so entertaining is what I'm saying, watching these kids play, just seeing on the screen there. I mean, look at the sizes of them. There are so many different sizes for their ages, but their various skill abilities, I think, is what's really interesting too. You could see the ones that just have that raw talent, and you could see that they have something that could literally be groomed in just time.
We have very talented individuals. Like I said, the first tournament ended up in a game winner. It was an epic matchup between the Sugar City Flames and the Conquering Lions, and it was, if you didn't know any better, it was NBA level, because it was big shot for big shot.
Wow.
People were, and again, we have.
You also see how they handle
players.
pressure too. It's
no.
good ability to develop.
I do have to point out the fact, though, that inclusivity is important. What are plans to include girls, have a girls tournament, and perhaps even expand this initiative to other communities?
That's my greatest wish right there, for us to try to get some females in the competition. We only have, at this point, we only had 2 participate.
2 teams?
Two females.
And they're
on a whole. Out of those 90 players, we had like about 88 males and 2 females, which is kind of sad. We want to rekindle that. That's been a goal of the District Basketball Association and the Basketball Federation. So we're trying to get more female teams involved. I'm going to be pushing for that over the next couple weeks, or next couple months, because we're trying to get that done. And I already made mention to the gentleman from Orange Walk, because they've supported me. I want to take the competition to Orange Walk in March.
Nice.
So there are plans to get things moving in all directions. We want to get representation from the West and the South. So I've had initial discussions with some of those individuals already. Sometimes the transportation is a problem, not sometimes, all the time transportation is a problem. So I've reached out to different gas stations to see if we could even get some gas money. So I've been doing the groundwork to try to get it, to spread it out and try to get things to happen, but we just have to continue.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it.
I love it. Now, just one more time, remind us when the tournament is, if there's any more space to sign up.
Right now, it's, we're going to be there at the Hub Community Center there on Chetamar Street. On Saturday, we're going to be starting at 8, maybe 8:30, given Belize time, you know. that's how we function. We actually have space for one more U13 team. I've been trying to put together a team there, but I don't know, the individuals that I've been interacting with are a little bit older, and we don't want to violate that age rule. We want to make it a level playing field for everybody. But again, on the 18th of January, we'll be there playing basketball all day.
All right.
All right, excellent.
Well, gentlemen, we wish you guys all the best, and it's always a pleasure having you both here and talking about these initiatives that are obviously done from your very own passions, and I can definitely tell that it is impacting the community, and we will be seeing the fruits of that labor very soon. So congratulations.
Thank you. And again, one more time, I must say thank you to Madisco for helping us out this and to everybody that wants to, you could contact me at 615-8623. I'll be listening to hear from you.
Excellent.
I just want to give a shout out to the Community Development Department, right? CRD, I mean Rehabilitation Department. They have a huge, overwhelming help when they give we. If I mentioned this earlier, with FUI kids then, because in a FUI program, well, I think in all basketball programs, in all sports, they have kids where have them things where they bother them, no? And with CRD, then give we the privilege for make we could send for really kids. I have some kids in my program who have really anger management problem. I don't know, coach, I deal with them on a daily basis, so I identify it, no? And I go to their parents, and through CRD, they give them kids free counseling. If they need it, they give them courses, help build up their self-esteem, things like that. Because a lot of my kids, them really down, they lose a game, they don't want to play again. You know, something go wrong, they don't want to play again. Something go wrong home, then come all day, then they start at the court and things. And we as coaches, I mean, we have
the
to.
changes.
We can't just make them go back just like that. You understand? We have to find out whether the issue, and if we can help, then we have to try to find somebody for help, no? Like when I say it takes a village to raise a child, no?
Yeah, correct.
So I just want to say a huge thank you to CRD, man, because we really appreciate their help.
That's good stuff, man.
Well, excellent. Well, that does it for our show this Thursday. We want to say a huge thank you to all of our guests who joined us, but also you guys for tuning in with us. It is January 16th, and if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to ya. And if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com.
And you can also catch us live on Facebook every single weekday morning at Open Your Eyes BZ.
As well as Instagram for behind the scenes contents at OIE Belize. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
and start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and of course your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Thursday.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.